So we're back for another episode of Traitors, Season 2, Episode 5, everybody. Hit the like and subscribe button as the intro plays. Okay, so last week's episode, you know how that ended. If you didn't, I'll give you a refresh. Larsa got sent home. She was a faithful. But in the round table, Parvati decided to throw the housewives under the bus, which means you're throwing a traitor under the bus, Phaedra Parks. So this episode starts back with Phaedra checking a bitch. All right, because Parvati, how dare you throw me under the bus? We're traitors together. But what Phaedra did not know is that Parvati and Dan have something going on. So all Phaedra's smoke went to Parvati. However, some of that smoke needs to go to Dan, but she doesn't know that just yet. But she did warn Dan. The thing is, Parvati said, I didn't think you were really mad. I wasn't sure if you were mad or not. Parvati, Phaedra, you don't know Phaedra like I know Phaedra. Okay?
Grave you dig for me, you better dig a double one because you'll fall in it first.
I've been watching The Housewives for many years, and I know Phaedra. Okay? So, anyhow, they move on from this. Like, don't ever do it again, Parvati. Because nobody likes you around here, Parvati, she says.
Didn't I get that heifer straight?
So, they move on, and they determine that Phaedra gets to choose who is murdered. Who does Phaedra choose? Because they were going back and forth. Should it be Sandra or should it be Tamra? And you know what? They're thinking Phaedra would not choose a fellow housewife after she just made a fuss about targeting housewives. But what did she do? Bam, bam, bam. She chose Tamra. Now, so I know some of you people out there in TV land would be like, why would she choose a fellow housewife? That's dumb. Actually, it was kind of smart because one, it takes if there was anybody thinking Phaedra's name, it kind of takes the smoke off of her. Because like a housewife wouldn't put up another housewife. Again, you don't know Phaedra.
Let's have Phaedra speak because she's the one who told me that Candy said that.
You said that? That I wanted to drug her.
Okay. Phaedra is loyal to only Phaedra, Mr. President, and the Prince. What she call Aiden the Prince? I just know Dylan is Mr. President. Those are her sons, for those of you who don't know. And production. Phaedra is loyal to herself and production. Okay, so Phaedra is about making this show, making a good TV show, whether it hits or not. She's about making a good TV show. Anyhow, so everybody gets to the breakfast room or the wherever the dining hall is. Everybody gets in, and then who's left to come in or not come in? It was Tamra. So Phaedra did in fact murder Tamra. So then, but you know the funny thing is everybody was in shock. Tamra, oh my God! And Phaedra's like, we got any hard-boiled eggs? What about some hard-boiled eggs? I was like, Phaedra, come on now. You're playing unaffected too well. You're supposed to be affected by a housewife getting voted out, Phaedra. So I hope no one noticed that because I know editing is tricky. And, you know, of course, Dan always looks so guilty to me. But no, you know, so moving right along. What do my notes say? Oh, here's another funny thing. Phaedra mentioned on Watch What Happens Live last week when she was on that one of her favorites in the house was CT. And we saw it in this episode. She just said, oh, that's CT is just so silly. He's just silly. You know, I like a silly man. I really do. Because I'm a silly girl. And Phaedra likes silly because Phaedra is silly, y'all. She is all. If you've seen some of the scenes that Phaedra sets up on the shows she's been on,
Just a woman that needs time for preparation, child. I just don't. I wake up looking like this, but I don't look like this.
they're always silly. So yeah, Phaedra likes silly, and also CT looks very uncomfortable to me. I wanted to point that out because one, when I first saw him, I said, your clothes are too tight, CT. But he really could stand for a detox. He looks uncomfortable. Like, really uncomfortable. Like, he's, carrying a lot of inflammation, which a lot of us are, and inflammation is not a good thing.
Get in my belly! Come on!
So, yeah. But anyhow, let's move on to the challenge. Let's not talk about CT's health or anybody's health for that matter. And I'm not a doctor. So, this week's challenge was this whole bird call challenge. That's what I'm calling it. The bird call challenge. Basically, there's a group that's going to be in the house and there's a group that's going to be outside. And the group outside are the only people who can get the shield for the week. So they were supposed to be listening for bird calls and then relaying or reporting the bird calls to the people inside. And the people inside would go find the bird, the respective bird, right? So instantly, people were complaining, Sandra being one of them, as why couldn't the shield be inside? For the people who don't like to run, like me and Phaedra.
Never knew that to be true.
why
I just
am I
thought it
in
was
it?
funny.
Hey, why are you bringing her down with the laziness? Like you can be lazy all alone. You don't like to run. Just say you. Why Phaedra too? But maybe Phaedra expressed she didn't like to run. So anyhow, they get to doing the calls, and one thing that I noted was, like I said last week, Sheree should not be on this show. She's a waste of a TV personality to be on this show.
Boring!
And she has no sense of direction. She nor Kevin can read maps. So they were like out there in the wilderness, just kind of lost, trying to follow the map, trying to find a shield, trying to listen to the bird calls, which I swear Sheree just has no personality. And she's gotten chance after chance after chance to shine, and she never does. She always falls flat.
I said what I said. Okay, well.
But anyhow, so while out there, Giselle and I believe it was Peter, I can't remember his name, the one from The Bachelor who looks somewhat like a cuter version of David Arquette, they decided that they were going to kind of devise a plan to, misdirect who won the shield to the traitors. So take the traitors off the mark. Like if they were thinking somebody, but who actually got the shield? I believe it was Bergie. Yeah, Bergie got the shield, And you know what I realized? Bergie, I was trying to figure out who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Meryl Streep. I know that's kind of weird. Wow, they won the money. They all, they won like what, 8,500? No, 10,500, I think, from guessing the birds. And John so eloquently guessed every bird. It's a dodo bird from Paris. Correct. Oh, and who is a dodo bird? Kevin. Kevin is a dodo bird because, he has decided, when they're all like walking around trying to figure out things, he has decided that who should be up for banishment this week? Janelle. Because Janelle has been wrong so many times.
Hey, what's the big idea?
You had that coming, dum-dum, for acting like such a knucklehead to...
She must be a traitor. She's been guessing wrong and she gets everybody behind her. And then everybody's also, targeting Dan because Dan, specifically Janelle, Dan, you never give me anything. You don't give me anything. Not even a name. And she knows how Dan played Big Brother. She's played against Big Brother. And Dan basically holds his cards until it's time to attack. And Janelle realized that. Janelle's problem in this game is she's too vocal. She should not have told Alan that we reserve the right to, say who has the shield. Like, she shouldn't have been the spokesman for the group because she put a target on her back that was already there from day one.
Hey, come on now. Listen up, child here. We got a job to do.
When Janelle went for the shield. So it's like if Janelle's continuously going for the shield, she's not only a selfish player if she was a traitor. I mean, she is a selfish player. So, but why would a traitor be going so feverishly for the shield if they're the traitor? That's not a brilliant strategy to continue to do that.
We got to make it make sense.
You have to make it make sense.
We have to make it make sense.
So, they get to the round table and instantly shots are being fired at Janelle and Dan. I'm summing it up. I'm not going through everything. But the funny thing is Kevin, he decides to plead his case. And they said, I think you are then a traitor, Kevin. I believe it was John who said that. Like, John really thinks Kevin is a traitor. And Kevin says, why? Because I'm an actor?
You are a hater all day long.
No. And I
already
looked
know
you up
that.
on IMDb,
Hater,
and all
hater,
I saw
hater,
was
hater,
straight
hater.
to DVD movies. And then your next big acting role is this show.
The other day, Kevin, you're a dodo.
You stupid.
But he was, very certain that Janelle was the traitor. And Dan pled his case. And I really didn't think that was such a strong, I'm not a traitor because, that's how I am. I just sit back and I observe and blah, blah, blah. Dan just looks very guilty in every scene. And I know that they edit in different, cutaways just so you can catch people making certain reactions. So I get that about editing. But Dan just looks guilty, like I'm guilty. I'm guilty, Dan. But so they go down the round table and, but before that, Alan mentioned that we have a surprise. They have an addition. They brought back somebody else. They got rid of one Bravo celebrity to bring in another one. They got rid of Tamara to bring in Kate Chastain of Below Deck fame. And she was also on that short-lived show with Portia and Giselle, that work from home show that was on Bravo that I hated. And I never understood why she on here, because I don't really watch Below Deck. I've seen maybe 10 episodes and I get irritated when I see that it's coming on for some reason. It's Below Deck night. I get mad because I love Bravo. But people seem to love Kate Chastain for being bitchy and mean and conniving. She's kind of witch-like to me, and her hair is all wrong. So I'm interested in seeing what she brings since she was on last season, which I did not see last season. However, Kate's on here, and Kate instantly gets into it with Kevin, and Kevin's like, are you at all listening? I know, you think Janelle's the traitor. Oh, you're not listening to me at all. So she's already coming in starting trouble. So I wonder how that's going to go in the upcoming weeks, and how long will Kate actually last? Because I know they're going to be thinking, is she a traitor? Was she brought in as a traitor, or is she a faithful? So basically the vote happens and Janelle is outnumbered 5-4. But guess what? Let's note this. When Janelle was voted out, did you see the reaction shot they had of Dan? Now, again, I don't know if that was in real time or they just cut that in, but he looked so he had a smirk on his face. It was like, haha, I beat you dummies again.
Who gonna check me, boo?
And Janelle said, I'm a faithful, you idiots. And to me, immediately I would have been, oh, I made a mistake. It was definitely Dan. That's what I would have thought. Had I voted for Janelle, I would have instantly thought, damn it, it was Dan.
Immediately.
They went to, the traitors reconvene and they said, Dan, this is your turn. Dan said, I gotta have this one. But it's like he's trying to target Bergie. And Bergie's the one who has a shield. So it's like he's gonna cancel out his shield. He's gonna cancel out his murder. So will he then target a traitor, as in Phaedra? Because we remember the clip, I am not afraid of you. This is not Big Brother, and I am not afraid of you. So is this going to be the week? Is he going to shoot his shot to go for Phaedra?
Pregnant and all, okay?
Come on,
don't go
here.
there with me.
Because I don't know if he knows. Phaedra's an attorney. So, Phaedra, I don't know when the last time Phaedra actually did any litigation, but she should know how to argue a case. She should know.
Oh, no. My attorney, Phaedra Parks, got something better for you, boo.
Your Honor, I haven't been served with Mr. Whitfield's newest contempt motion.
He had nothing.
But anyhow, now like and subscribe and drop into the comments. Till next time.